So today I want to combine everything that we have learned so far, okay, into a proper, a proper problem-solving question, lah. Okay, and this is a very common question that we usually see coming from this chapter. Okay, and so the first thing I want to do is just to refresh with you all what we have done so far. So the first thing that we have done, and the one that I have emphasized a lot, is how to draw a best fit graph. Okay, so how you draw a best fit graph, remember all the rules of best fit, and then from the best fit graph, we learn to find the gradient, okay? We learn to find the gradient, find the y-intercept, and then we learn to form the equation of the line of best fit. Okay, and in so doing, we remember that we cannot just use the letters x and y, okay, because everything depends on the letters in the axis. What is the kind of graph that we want to draw? If it is h against g, then you know that h is on the top here, and then g is like that. So we need to know that now our formula y equals to mx plus c has to change a little bit. Okay, it has to be y-axis, whatever the y-axis is. No matter how complicated the y-axis is, we just put it in, equals to the gradient and then the x-axis plus the y-intercept. Okay, this is the formula that we've been using lah. Okay, so we bear in mind y-axis and x-axis can change one. Okay, it can take any form. Okay, but the basic shape mx-axis plus c will never change. Secondly, we learned how to change a non-linear equation like this, okay, to become a linear equation. Okay, that forms this one. Okay, and this one is a little bit difficult, I understand. Okay, and it takes a little bit of time to get used to this. Okay, and then the third thing which we did yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, was how to change a linear equation to become a non-linear equation. Okay, or how to find values, okay, of unknown letters from the equations that are given. Okay, so we're going to use all these things, okay, into our question for today. Okay, and first I want to begin by looking at this example together with you all. So a very common question that is usually asked is like this lah. Okay, they will give you an original table. Okay, this is the original table. They will probably give you an equation. It may be a linear equation, it may not be a linear equation. But the first thing they will tell you, okay, is usually to construct a table. You have to make a table for the values of 1 over u and 1 over v. Okay, so then you will get this kind of answer lah. Okay, 0.1. This 10 will become 0.1. How? Because if u is 10, okay, if u is 10, so 1 over u is equals to 1 over 10. 1 divided by 10 is 0.1, and that's how you get this. Okay, the same thing with this 36. U equals to 36. So 1 over u equals to 1 over 36. 1 divided by 36 is 0.0278. Okay, about there lah. You can round off lah. Okay, if you want. But if you want to round off, okay, and this is something I need to tell you lah. Okay, let's say for example like this let's say this 6.17. V is 6.17, so 1 over V is 1 divided by 6.17. So you get a very, 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 very long one. Okay, and in this question, they they round off to become 0.162. Okay, can. If you do 0.16, also can, no problem. But the minimum, okay, is 2 decimal places. Okay, never until you become 1 decimal place only. No, I don't want. Okay, in the table, I want minimum 2 decimal place. Okay, make sure that is done in that way. Okay, so the first question usually they will ask you to construct a table. Okay, so you make a new table depending on what the graph is they want you to draw lah. Okay, what if they say construct a table for the values of u squared and v squared? So you cannot do 1 over u kan? You have to use u squared and v squared. So you make a new table lah. So okay, u squared v squared. Okay, you can't. U is 10. So u squared will be 10 squared kan? 10 squared is 100. Okay, V is 10.87. So 10.87 squared will be, then you put inside here. Okay, so whatever it is, whatever table that this question asks you to do, okay, you follow the table, follow the question. Okay, don't go and pandai make your own table, because different question will have different table, will have different calculation. Okay, but ultimately, ultimately, what we want, okay, is a straight line graph like this. Okay, and so the second part will always be like this using a scale of yada yada, plot a graph of 1 over v against 1 over u. Okay, so 1 over v, all this one, this is the y-axis. 1 over u, this is the x-axis. Okay, because they say 1 over v against 1 over u, it's always y-axis against x-axis. This format cannot change one. They will never say x-axis against y-axis, cannot. Okay, so you must know. If the question asks you to plot a graph of 1 over v against 1 over u, you must know immediately, this one is y-axis, this one is x-axis. Okay, so the clue actually is in the question. Okay, you just have to remember it lah. Okay, so when you plot the graph, yada yada, you draw the best fit now. Okay, then as always lah, okay, make sure your line is long until it cuts the x-axis, the y-axis. Okay, once it cuts the y-axis, then you know that this value 0.189 this is the C value. Okay, so remember what I said just now. You have your y-axis. Okay, y-axis is 1 over v. X-axis is 1 over u. Sorry, my v and u are ugly. Okay, my C is 0.189. My question is, can we calculate the gradient from this graph? Of course you can. Okay, can you calculate the gradient for me and tell me first? Everybody? Calculate the gradient and tell me in the chat now how much is the value of the gradient of this graph. Okay, if you really can't see, then you just use the points over here. Use the points over here to help you to find this one. Never use these points. Okay, this one tak pakai sudah, because this is a different graph. Okay, so we want to use the 1 over u and 1 over v punya point. Okay, calculate the gradient please and let me know in the chat. Okay, I'm going to take an average lah. Okay, since got 4, 6 and 8 I'm going to use negative 0.96 lah. This is the average lah. Okay, so so from here we can find the equation of the straight line. Kan? The equation of the straight line. What is the y-axis? 1 over v equals to negative 0.96. What is my x-axis? 1 over u plus 0.189. And this is something that we have done before. And we take the y-axis, take the x-axis, then we put in the gradient, we put in the c, and then that's the equation. Okay. And then sometimes they will ask you to how to change this. Okay, so they say express v in terms of u. And this is something that we did yesterday lah. Okay, and then do you remember, Wei Chen, what did I say about this? I said that you cannot, you said yesterday you just want to turn it around, right? Okay, but actually we cannot just turn it around because the right side over here is 2 terms. Right? So we have to combine it to make it into 1 term. Okay, so remember this is what we did yesterday. All right, so let me change this first. Okay, I'm going to combine these two together. So this is negative 0.96 over u plus 0.189. Okay, but it's still 2 terms. We have to make it into 1 term, bahkan. Okay, now if we make it into 1 term, can you tell me on the right side what is it supposed to be? This one. If I make it into 1 term, what does it become? Wei Chen, you want to try this? Everything times u. Yeah, okay, cross multiply lah. So what will I get? It's very hard to type this kind of answer out, right? Okay, fine. So negative 0.96 plus 0.189 u over u. You cross multiply everything. Okay, 这个下面是 1 呢. Okay, so that's why it's just, yeah, u over Oh, wow. Okay, so this is even better. Wei Chen has gotten it already. So he has already actually flipped this around. Okay, so you get V equals to U over negative 0.96 plus 0.189 U. Okay, good, excellent. Okay, that means Wei Chen has already gotten it. Like he just he skipped right to the end. Okay, can. But this is something that we did yesterday, and I just wanted to make sure that that you remember what we learned yesterday. We cannot flip this one around. We cannot turn around because there's two terms over there. So when that happens, we make it into one term, then you can flip it. Okay, exactly like what Wei Chen said. Okay, good. So right now, what I want you to do is, oh sorry, let me discuss the rest of the questions first. Okay, so the question say, find the value of 1 over f, okay, when 1 over u equals to 0. Okay, when 1 over u equals to 0, means here lah. Okay, that means we're talking about the 0.189. Okay, so when 1 over u equals to 0, okay, when 1 over u equals to 0, 1 over v equals to 0.189. So according to this formula, according to this formula, according to this formula, 1 over u is 0. 1 over v is 0.189. So that means 0 plus 0.189 equals to 1 over f. Therefore, question is 1 over f bahkan. So that means 1 over f equals to 0.189. Because 0 plus 0.189 is 0.189 lah. Okay? And then they said what? Find the value of f. This one very easy lah. If 1 over f equals to 0.189, how do you find the value of f? You change place. So that's why you get this. Okay, 1 over 0.189. You get 5.29. Okay, but this part, this calculation part, okay, from the graph, different question will have different things they will ask you. Okay, but one thing that is definitely for sure, okay, well, 90%, 95% certainty, I can say this, is that questions like this, the beginning is always the same. They will ask you to make a new table, okay, then they will ask you to draw a graph. Okay, and this whole thing, this whole example here is a 10-mark question. Okay, it's a 10-mark question. If you can construct the table correctly and if you can draw a graph correctly, you should be able to get 4 to 5 marks. Okay, 4 to 5 marks. And then on top of that, remember what I said just now? After you have done this one, right? Find the gradient, find the y-intercept, and then form the equation. So this one will give you another extra 1 mark. So I want everybody to be able to at least get 5 to 6 marks out of the 10 marks. Okay, for this question. Okay, all you have to know is how to draw a graph correctly. That's the most important thing. Okay, of course, how to make the table also lah. That was also very important. Okay, so what I'm going to let you do now is I'm going to let you do this first question. Okay, this one, question number 1. If you want to use the graph paper that is given in the module, can. If you want to use a separate graph paper, also no problem. Okay, but take a look at this. Construct. So the first question, okay, this is the equation. T squared equals to 2 pi square root L over G. Okay, and then they give you the table L and T. Look at the table they ask you to construct. Construct the values of T squared pi liao. Okay, that means the L you don't touch lah. Okay, so when you construct a table, you need to construct a table of T squared. I just want to see this T squared. Okay, different values of T will give you different values of T squared. Okay, and then when you want to Jingwei, minimum 2 decimal place. Okay, if you don't want to Jingwei, you want to give all 10 decimal places, also can lah, but you will suffer lah. Okay, not so good lah. 2 to 3 decimal places. Okay, enough. Okay, once you have constructed the table, use this scale, okay, and then draw the line of best fit. Once you have done that, find the gradient, find the y-intercept, and form the equation for me. And then write your answer down on the paper or in a separate graph paper, like if you're going to do this on a separate graph paper. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do this part. Okay, those of you who can understand this chapter better, if you want to go ahead and answer question C, go ahead first lah. Okay, but for everyone, in 15 minutes, I want your graph to be done, and then you post it up in the Telegram group. Okay, whoever finish early can just post it up first, then I can look at it first lah. Okay, but I'm going to give you 15 minutes for this. So now it's 11:20. 11:35, I will come back and we will continue our discussion on this. All right, let's take a look at this. Who is this? Sinbury. Okay. All right, very nicely done. But I don't see the I don't see the table, nor do I see the equation of the straight line. But okay, I'm sure you can do that now. All right. Anybody else? All right. Wang Zhong Han. Oh, see? Not bad. Not bad, except that, except lah, okay, except that there are 2 points that tidak kena, which is somewhere is at the bottom. Okay, but I think it's okay lah. I think a very important thing that you managed to see is that the C, okay, the y-intercept actually is 0. Okay, that's a very important thing. But again, I don't see the table. Okay, and I don't see the equation. And t squared equals to yada yada yada. Yeah. So I kind of want to see that lah, just to make sure. But I think Zhonghan can lah. All right. Anybody else? Come on. Waiting. Oh, Stephanie's one is boleh dikatakan perfect sudah. Okay. Very nicely drawn graph. The table is well done. The gradient is 0.041. Okay, t squared equals to 0.041 L plus 0.05. Okay. According to your graph, there is an intercept lah. Okay, but actually there should be no intercept lah. It should actually start from 0. Okay, but it's okay. Let's leave it as it is first. Okay, let's leave it as it is. But I want to use this gradient lah, 0.041. Okay, it's a very well drawn graph. Good. Okay, other people, come on. M is 0.04, so the equation is t squared equals to 0.04L. Okay, all right. Almost the same as Stephanie's one. Stephanie's one is 0.041. Okay, table is there. Graph looks good. Doesn't really hit 0, but okay. In terms of best fit, I think it is an okay best fit. I think you can adjust it a little bit more to make it kena 0. It should, okay, actually this the y-intercept, right? Okay, this y-intercept here, actually there should be ngam 0 lah. It's one of those very rare questions that the y-intercept is ngam 0. Okay, but otherwise, I think it's an okay effort. Ken, please calculate the gradient. My graph not big enough. What do you mean by your graph not big enough? The paper is not big enough. Not enough space on the paper. This one. Oh, then can what? Okay, baby. Okay, fine. I know because you are following the scale, right? 2 centimeter to 10 units. Okay, according to this one, actually one big box is 2 cm lah. Okay, so maybe that could be an issue lah. Okay, thank you, Deborah, for responding. But what about the rest? Charlotte, Meiji, Dennis, Yvonne, Freya, Waiton. Also the same, even if you can, actually 2 box is about 2 cm. Okay, and you should be able to do 0.5 lah. Okay, if you are saying that the box is not big enough, maybe because you're using really 2 cm, then okay lah, fine. But actually, we assume that actually one big box is 2 cm. Okay, let me come to this question C. I want to briefly touch on this question C. Find the value of G and then find the value of T when L equals to 200. So according to this, remember just now I asked you to calculate the gradient. Okay, so some people got the gradient as 0.04, some got the gradient as 0.041. Okay, now remember just now you wrote t squared equals to, this is Stephanie lah, t squared equals to 0.041 L squared. Okay, I'm going to assume that the intercept is 0 lah. Sorry, L, not L squared. Okay, t squared equals to 0.041 L. Now, if you take a look at the original equation from this part, T equals to 2 pi square root of L over G. How do you change T to become T squared? You square everything lah kan? Okay, that's why you get the second line over here. T becomes T squared, 2 pi becomes 4 pi squared, okay? And then the square root L over G, if you square everything, it becomes L over G, okay? And what they do is they separate the G and the L to show you that this is the gradient. So T squared equals to 4 pi squared over G times L. So if you take a look at this, and this, I'm going to use Stephanie's example for this. Okay, you will find that 4 pi squared over G actually is equals to the gradient that you calculated. Okay, 4 pi squared over G equals to the gradient that you calculated. Let me write this. 4 pi squared over G equals to, again, this is Stephanie's example, 0.041. So can I find the value of G? Can. Because pi is how much? Pi is 3.142 bahkan. So calculate the value of G. Stephanie, can you quickly calculate the value of G and tell me what is the value, please? According to your gradient. Okay, according to your gradient. Okay, while waiting for Stephanie, I'm going to look at Wei Zhen's graph. Okay, Wei Zhen. Oh, very nice. Okay, so Wei Zhen, you chose these two lines, these two dots over here to calculate the gradient, right? Okay. How much is your gradient? Can you tell me? Can I see how much is your gradient? Stephanie, have you finished counting? How much is your G? It's Deborah. Wow, Deborah. I think that you have plotted wrongly, Liao, because this is supposed to be 20, right? But you plot at 10. Oh. Okay. The good news is your best fit is nice lah, yeah, but you plot at the wrong place. That's why everybody, their graph can reach 0, but because you plot at the wrong place. But okay, never mind, it's okay. You can rub it off and try again. I'm still waiting for Stephanie and Wei Zhen's answer. How much is your gradient, Wei Zhen, and how much is your... Who is this Wei Zhen? Gradient is 0.04. Yeah, Wei Zhen, type lah in this one. Okay, 0.04, which is the same answer as what's her name? Sinbury. Stephanie, are you here? Is Stephanie here? How come she hasn't calculated the value of G for me yet? Yeah, Stephanie is here. Stephanie, can you hear me? Oh, Stephanie. How much is the value of G? Yeah, 963.66. Okay, 963.66. Is it different from this? Yes, it's different. Okay, is it wrong? No, it's not wrong because it is according to your graph. Okay, so this is the good thing about this question. Of course, the answer cannot run very far lah. Okay, it cannot be your answer is 1,200. That one is too far already lah. But if it is around the same answer, then it is okay. All right. Now, lastly, find the value of T when L equals to 200 cm. So this one, what they do is they substitute L equals to 200. They substitute the G. Okay, so they put the L over here, 200 long. Okay, then you can calculate the value of T. Okay, so they will get about 2.846 seconds. That one is just substitute into the equation. Okay, now, the important thing today, okay, that I want all of you to get, okay, is number one, okay, everyone must be able to do a new table according to the instruction. Number two, everybody must be able to draw a graph, count the gradient, determine the y-intercept, and form the equation. Okay, and then after that, those of you who can, you can continue doing the question C lah. Okay, find the value. This one, we need to constantly practice a little bit more. So for today, what I would like you to do is I would like you to answer question number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, in the same module. Question number 2, number 3, and number 4. But, okay, but like this, I want you to do the question first, okay? And then after that, on Thursday, Thursday we will have a Google Meet. So on Thursday when we do the Google Meet, I will ask different people to hand in different questions. Okay, I will ask different people to hand in different questions. Some people I will say, okay, please hand in number 2. Some people I will say, please hand in number 3. Some I will say, please hand in number 4. But the most important thing is this: even if you cannot finish the C question, okay, even if you cannot finish the C question, okay, you must. I want to be able to see table, graph, equation. Okay, this is the 3 most important thing: table, graph, equation. I must be able to see that. Okay, if you can do that, then at least I know, okay, at least you can do this. We can start working to improve yourself. Okay, that's the most important thing. So please make sure that you, for all the 3 questions, number 2, number 3, number 4, table, graph, equation, okay, is complete. And then on Thursday, we will discuss the rest of these questions.